Chapter 20. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? We arrived at an imposing stone fortress. Men in black and orange uniforms flanked the entryway, a set of carved doors lit by mounted torches. The friar bowed and spoke to a guard, who in turn told us to wait. Troy and I scanned the street. Thankfully no one had followed us. Though I guessed it was about dinner time, the surroundings lay in deep silence. Working folks seemed to tuck themselves away early. That made sense, I supposed, in a world without electricity or television. A man emerged from Montague House. Long and lean, he wore checkered tights, red shorts, and a puffy blue shirt that billowed as he sashayed toward us. Certainly not Montague colors. His shoulder-length hair could have been a color swatch for Fire Engine Red. He tipped his feathered hat and bowed. "Friar Lawrence, a delight to see you as always." "Good evening, Mercutio," the friar said. I had forgotten all about Mercutio. Neither Capulet nor Montague, he's a very good friend of Romeo's. Actors really love the role because Mercutio has these huge monologues and a gloriously melodramatic death scene at the hands of Tybalt. "May I introduce Mimi and Troy of Manhattan," the friar said. "They have come to speak with Romeo." Mercutio bowed again, then repositioned his hat. The feather caressed his powdered cheek. "My young friend has locked himself in his room and will speak to no one. I have exhausted myself trying to tempt him forth. Come, maybe you will have better luck." Friar Lawrence took me aside. "I must return to my church. If I am not there when Tybalt's men arrive, they might do great damage." "But what will you tell them about Troy and me?" "I will tell them that my church is a place of sanctuary, and those who come seeking medical attention, be they Capulet or Montague, will receive care." He smiled. "I leave it to you to work out the rest of the details. Romeo is well familiar with the streets beyond Verona, so he will have no trouble guiding Juliet out of the city. When you hear the bells chime tomorrow eve, you will know that Juliet has drunk the potion. Soon after we must all meet at the Capulet tomb." I must have looked terrified because he took my hand and squeezed. "God works in mysterious ways, my child. I believe that your magic charm is one of those ways. Your arrival serves a greater purpose. We must have faith, but we must also have courage." He squeezed again, then waddled off. Like Capulet House, dozens of paintings lined the inner Montague hallway, and a winding staircase led to Romeo's room. Mercutio rattled on and on about the house's design. He was a total bore. He walked on tiptoe and whipped his hands around like a hyperactive conductor. "Is Benvolio around?" I asked. Right on cue, Troy snorted. "Benvolio is on patrol, but he's due to return shortly. Ah, here we are," Mercutio announced with a graceful flourish. A servant stood outside Romeo's bedroom, hovering over a basket of laundry. "Young master will not be moved," the old man told us. "I am to bathe him and change his clothing, but he refuses." "More stubborn than an ass," Mercutio said, pounding his fist on the door. "Romeo, madman, lover, speak to me, friend. A song will suffice, perhaps a sonnet. Recite one simple rhyme and I shall be satisfied." "Go away." "Go away. That, my friend, does not rhyme." Mercutio folded his arms and leaned against the door. "How about go away until another day, or go away and eat some hay?" "Go away, I say." A true poet, yet he does not know it. Mercutio tilted his hat to the side. "Come out and charm us with your verse." "Not until Rosalind loves me." Dear boy, if a woman does not wish to love, then she will not love. Women can control their hearts in ways that men can never imagine. Wouldn't you agree, Mimi? This particular woman had no idea how to control her heart. It thumped one minute for Troy and the next minute for Benvolio. Well aware of Troy's stare, I shrugged. I'm the wrong person to ask. "I will never come out," Romeo cried. I had hollered those exact words when, just before the first rehearsal of Romeo and Juliet, I had locked myself in my room. Mother had gone ballistic. "You have a contract with the theater. Don't make me call the doorman. I'll have him unscrew the hinges and carry you out of there." Even the black and white cat across the street had known my situation was hopeless. He had mouthed a little meow before stretching out on his window ledge. "I will never come out. I don't want to be in Romeo and Juliet. I don't want to act anymore." "You have no choice. The only thing that will get you out of your contract is a debilitating illness," my mother had said as she paced outside the door. "Mamie Wallingford, are you listening to me? You come out of there this instant." Debilitating illness. Oh my God. Could Troy have been right? Had I conjured up the stage fright on purpose? Was I so pathetic that I couldn't admit it even to myself? "Romeo," I said, "it's Mimi and Troy." "Mimi, from Manhattan? And Troy, the wounded singer?" "Yes." "Singer?" Mercutio asked, sweeping his long flaming hair off his shoulders. "I sing as well, mostly my own compositions. You are likely familiar with my love song, 'Girl, come hither and we shall dither.'" No, Troy said, rolling his eyes. Hey, Romeo, buddy, let us in. We've got to talk to you about something. Please, Romeo. Lady Mimi, a quiet voice floated through the crack under the door. I knelt and dipped my head as close as possible. Have you come to speak of love? Do you know why Rosalind will not love me? Talk about a one-track mind. I do, I lied. Let me in and I'll tell you. Romeo, Romeo, Mercutio said, kneeling next to me and pressing his face close to the door's crack. Rosalind will not love you because she is a thick-headed bolt of linen. Come join us in the garden for a late feast. We shall sing and be merry. Troy has agreed to sing my song, Girl, Come Hither and We Shall Dither. Not really, Troy said. Perhaps you would prefer, Girl, Come and Handle My Candle? The latch rattled and the door cracked open. Mercutio and I scrambled to our feet. Only Lady Mimi, Romeo said, holding out a beckoning hand. I only want to see her. Mercutio patted Troy on the back. The Montagues possess a renowned selection of instruments. Let us go down to the courtyard to compare songs. I have a few new verses that I should like to put to music. Go ahead, I told Troy. I'll take things from here. Troy didn't look convinced, and he pressed his mouth close to my ear. Remember, it's a story, Mimi, a story that we need to end. His breath tickled the inside of my ear. I closed my eyes for a moment. Benvolio's breath had tickled me like velvet fingers. Troy's tickled me as well, only it ran down the length of my spine. I opened my eyes and he was staring at me. I couldn't convince myself that I hated him. He had saved my life. He had trusted me enough to clean his wound. He had shared secret worries with me. As soon as Troy and Mercutio had left, Romeo opened the door wide enough for me to slip inside. Clean clothes, young master, the servant said, lifting the laundry basket. Romeo thanked him and took the basket. But master, I will dress myself, that is all. The decorator from hell had left his mark on Romeo's room. Montague black and orange covered everything, like Halloween had exploded. It made me dizzy. That horrid room had to be one of the causes of Romeo's gloom. Welcome to my home, Lady Mimi, but while you are here you can never tell my parents that you are a Capulet. They despise all Capulets and have vowed to run them all out of Verona, or kill them in the attempt. He wore an expression as woeful as a basset hound's. A raging river of hatred flows here. Can you feel it? He hugged himself. Hatred, hatred everywhere. My parents speak of nothing else but this hatred. It consumes them. I think I could actually feel the hatred, or maybe it was the ugly room that put me on edge. Only love can free me from this prison of hatred. Only love. Only love? I gasped. Is that a bathtub? A large porcelain tub sat in the corner of Romeo's room, next to a screen and a clothes stool. The tub was filled with water. Clean water. Rose petals floated at the surface. I dipped my fingers in. It was lukewarm. Romeo, are you going to use this water? I am too tired for that bath, he said, draping himself over his bed. May I? I didn't wait for his reply. I pulled the screen around the tub and kicked off my shoes. The dress's cinched waist wouldn't budge, so I tugged at it and broke the lace. Not bothering with the sleeves, I yanked the entire dress over my head and threw it on the screen. Off came the shirt, underskirt, bra, and panties. I stepped in and melted. Never had lukewarm water felt so good. I dunked my head, then reached for a bar of soap that smelled like lemon. Romeo, I called, lathering my hair, when we were in the orchard you said that you had a chest overflowing with gold. Is that true? I have more gold coins than I can count. I wiggled my toes gleefully. And just now you said that only love can free you from this prison of hatred. Did you mean that? Yes, only love. Rosalind's love. What about someone else's love? But I love Rosalind. I worked the soap down my arms. Yes, but that's not really love. I know you think it is, but take it from me. It's just a crush. I felt the same way once. I couldn't stop thinking about this one guy, and I dreamed about him every night. Okay, I still dreamt about him, but Romeo didn't need to know that. Bending the truth is perfectly acceptable when one is trying to save a life. 2 lives. Maybe more. Yes, I dream about Rosalind too. Uh-huh. I dunked again, wondering if Benvolio liked the scent of lemon. But those feelings fade quickly when you meet someone else. Listen to me. I sounded like a mature, experienced woman. What a laugh. My feelings for Rosalind will never fade. A stack of folded towels sat next to the tub. I had started to shiver, so I wrapped a towel around my hair and another around my body. The water had turned gray. How embarrassing. The last thing I wanted to wear was that heavy dress, which was filthy, stained, and marked me as a thief. Romeo and I seemed about the same size. Romeo, can I borrow some of your clothes? Take whatever you'd like, he mumbled. I peered over the screen. He had turned towards the wall and was stabbing it with a small knife, chipping off flakes of plaster. I hurried out and grabbed the clothes basket. His black tights and white shirt fit perfectly. The puffy orange shorts were a bit loose, so I cinched them with a woven belt. What a relief to be able to walk around without 200 pounds of velvet weighing me down. A pair of boots stood against the wall, made of soft, well-worn leather. I slipped my feet into them and sighed, like being reborn. Romeo scooted to the edge of his bed and hung his head over the edge. Tell me why Rosalind refuses to love me. I worked my fingers through my wet hair. Rosalind is not meant to love you. Someone else is. He slid off the bed and sat on the floor, tucking his knees tightly to his chest. Who? He stared at me with eyes so heavy with hurt he could barely hold them open. I sat beside him, feeling strangely maternal. I wanted to tousle his downy hair, but didn't. Only 2 years separated us, and in many ways I was as immature as he was in matters of love. But I knew what it was like to be depressed and lost. Romeo, you had a chance to meet someone, and I messed it up. She was at the Capulet party, and if the two of you had met, I'm pretty sure you would have liked each other. I didn't say that I was pretty sure they would have fallen in love. At the time, I had major issues with the whole destiny thing. My mother always told me that my destiny had been decided before I was born, stamped with a gold Wallingford seal. One could look at Romeo in the same way, created by Mr. Shakespeare for a single purpose. But Shakespeare wasn't running this show. Who's to say that Romeo and Juliet couldn't just be friends? There's a girl named Juliet who lives across town. She's a Capulet, and her parents are forcing her to get married. She doesn't want to because she basically hates the guy, and he's a pervert anyway, according to Friar Lawrence. So she's going to leave Verona, but she can't do it without money, and she can't do it without an escort. Why do you tell me this? Because I'm hoping that you'll volunteer to be her escort. Help a Capulet? I'm supposed to hate Capulets. Do you? He sighed. No, I've never hated anyone. I believed him. It's a rare person who doesn't feel hatred. I began to realize that beneath the whining exterior lay a gem of a man. Juliet needs your help, Romeo. Will you help her? I waited for his answer. He had to agree. He just had to. I didn't know squat about the world outside Verona. Juliet and I would be as easily caught as blind chickens, but all my hopes were dashed with a single sad shake of his head. No, I cannot leave. What if Rosalind changes her mind? I got to my feet. He needed a wake-up call. What are you saying? That you're going to lie in this room moping over a woman who will never love you? She's dedicated her life to God. Don't you get it, Romeo? You're wasting your life in a totally dead-end relationship. How could I get through to him? I felt the walls of the orange and black room closing in on me. Time was running out. You said that you were trapped. That's a terrible way to feel. I know the feeling all too well. We might all be trapped. Trapped? Totally and completely trapped, I said. I don't even know if Troy and I can go home. We might have to start a new life here, or outside Verona. But what I do know is that Juliet can't stay here. She has a chance for freedom. I turned to him. Anyone who helps her might be in danger, and who am I to ask you to take such a risk? I just thought you might want to get away from this place for a while. Get away from all the heartache and all the feuding. I folded my arms around my knees. She's not even 14, Romeo. They are selling her body, and she's not even 14. Rosalind is only 14, Romeo said, straightening to his full height. I hadn't realized he was so tall or broad-shouldered. I would kill the man who tried to sell her body. He walked over to a trunk and took out a velvet bag and filled it with coins. He tied the bag to his belt. I shall help this girl. When do we leave? Really? I leaped to my feet. You'll help? He nodded, and I threw my arms around him. At that moment, Romeo Montague, a secondary character of little appeal, was promoted to heroic leading man. We need to leave right away. Let's go find Troy. Thanks to Mercutio's voice, I knew where to find the guys. His falsetto waltzed down the hallway as he reworked Troy's song. Girl, thou hath me ringing, girl, thou hath me dinging. The bells of love, the bells of love. Girl, thou hath me sharing, girl, thou hath me swearing. The vows of love, the vows of love. Girl, oh, girl. I'm speaking of thee, girl. Mercutio had completely transformed the song, slowing down its original hip-hop rhythm. He stopped singing to play a flute solo while Troy strummed a mandolin. I felt so much better in my clean clothes and soft boots. With Romeo at my side, I had a good chance of pulling this off. I hummed as I stepped out into the courtyard. Suddenly, it felt as if someone had stabbed me in the gut. For there sat Benvolio, on a bench at the edge of the courtyard, with a woman on his lap, and he was kissing her.